Okay, well, if you want to start just by introducing yourself, where you're from, who you are, what you do, and we can go from there.
Sure. Right now? Oh, you're
Go
recording.
for it. Yeah, we're on. We are on.
I thought you were gonna give like the
Heck
action.
no.
No, my name is Darryl Anderson. I'm from originally from Big River, Saskatchewan. I live in Saskatoon, and I've lived here now almost 20 years. So it's pretty much I started calling it home now, more than even back home. So yeah, and we're just doing music, rocking and rolling. Sounds better than I don't know what the
Country
equivalent
and
is for country,
country
country
and
and two stepping,
Balin or something.
country and Baylor,
I don't know.
riding horses.
Do you go home lots?
I was just up there actually. I was just up there. We did Country to Creek Music Festival,
Nice.
so we were there for 3 days ish, and yeah, it was so much fun. So we recovered from that, and lots of shows coming up. So it's a hectic week.
Yeah.
It's a
I
hectic
just
week.
well, I just seen you posted your list of everything you got going on coming up. It seems like every day
Yeah.
this month.
Oh, I know. I was making the list and I didn't realize how much was there. And I was making those little posters and I'm like, holy smokes. Yeah, there's a lot this month. This is the busiest schedule for me in a month ever. And it's all over. So it's like Friday, I'm at Country Thunder. So we're like in Craven, and I'm in there in the afternoon. So that's going to be a quick in and out. And then I'm in St. Denis, and then, which is about 45 minutes outside Saskatoon, and then back that night, and then get a couple hours of sleep and drive to Edmonton the next day. Like it's not just local, it's just ends up being all over the place. So
And
it was an intense.
do you have like a solid team helping you, or is it you're?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fallon. Fallon.
Heck yeah!
Like, honest, like, it's fairly self-contained.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fairly self-contained. Besides that, like um it's besides like a few advertising things that I shop out that I just can't do. Like you guys did my stickers even Wednesday or whatever, and I just use those as kind of giveaways. People like stickers. So you guys did some of my stuff like that. And then other than that, like I make my own shirts at home and
Mm.
I press them all. So I always say they're made with love, so they're handcrafted in my garage. Like, but yeah, I do most of it myself. The booking, all just everything, poster making, all the graphic design stuff. I don't really shop a whole lot of it out. Do it all. So
So, and I guess how long? So, how long have you been doing music, like as a hobby, and then how long have you been doing it as a career?
so the story I always kind of tell, which is kind of funny, like growing up, I did not like being in front of anybody. Like I in school, like any class projects, like this goes way back, like way back. Class projects, didn't like being in front of the class. I mean, these are people that I went to school with all my life, and as soon as you put me in front of the class, I would just freeze. Like I hated it. I remember the one time during a Christmas concert, like I don't know if it was in high school or little school or whatever, but like I fainted. They had to carry me off the stage. Like that's how much a straight stage fright I had.
Wow.
So like being in front of people was not something I ever thought I would do. And then we kind of started, going out when I moved to the city, probably more like doing karaoke. I guess even when I was back home, I guess I sang with the band a couple times, but nothing crazy. And it was just like odd little things just here and there, like zero intentions on doing what I'm doing now. And it was just for the fun of it. So I always say when I moved to the city, we just go out and do drunk karaoke all the time. That's all we did. So, and then, my oldest boy, he got to about 12 and he was like, well, I kind of just want to hang out with my friends, Dad, this weekend and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, Okay, so then it kind of freed up a little bit more time and on the weekends and stuff. So I feel like it was a Kijiji ad
Mm.
about 8 years ago, and that was just for fun. Like met some guys that just wanted to play some music and stuff like that. So we started doing shows and it just strictly for the fun of it. Again, still zero intentions on doing what I'm doing now. And then we won Battle of the Bands in Alberta, stuff like that. So then it just kind of slowly progressed a little bit, and it still didn't click in that I wanted to do it or I should do it. So it was 2019. 2019, we had a good batch of shows. Things progressed, and that was 2019 where I'm like, okay, there's some things kind of happening here, and some people are taking notice and stuff like that. So it was kind of the end of the summer of like 2019 where I was like, okay, you know what? We're gonna give her in 2020 because I already had bookings lined up for 2020. So everything was looking just great. So we were pretty excited, and then of course 2020 happened and COVID hit, and
Right.
so I had to take a whole different direction. So I pivoted and did lots of online stuff, lots of Facebook lives, lots of TikTok lives. And TikTok had a vocal surgery in 2019. That was my first one. And so out of sheer boredom, I just started sharing old videos onto TikTok, and it just kind of slowly progressed and caught on from there. And then we just kind of kept going, and it just stuff kept falling in my lap,
Hmm.
and here we are.
Now the busiest month
Now the
you've ever had.
busiest month I've ever had. Like it's insane, yeah. But it's been super cool. Like we were talking. You talk to musicians, and you see they're like, people see the 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours of the show. They don't see all the behind the scenes stuff. That's the stuff that's stressful. The on stage stuff is the fun part.
Right.
The behind the scenes stuff is the stressful part. So it's not all fun and games.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
all fun and games.
What's like the one of the most stressful things you've had happen right before going on?
Literally, literally just happened on the weekend. So Thursday, luckily it didn't last very long. So Thursday, we're out in Big River at this festival. We're supposed to play at like 10:30 ish, and there's next to no cell phone service out there. So I told all my guys to get there between 6 and 7. Nobody was there. And I'm starting to kind of like question what's going on. And we went for a walk to check out this one kind of landmark or whatever. And I felt my phone ringing. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I grabbed my phone and checked it out because I was surprised I had service. Checked it out. I had missed 4 calls from my bass player.
Hmm.
And so I got a hold of him. Of course, I'm like standing on this like just right, just to get enough cell service. And he got stopped by the cops leaving Saskatoon, and the cops stranded him in Martinsville. So he was like, dude, like he's 2.5 hours away.
Right.
It's 8 o'clock, and I'm supposed to go on stage at 10:30. And we still had no direction on how he was going to get up there even. And so that was my situation. I'm going on stage, and we're all super excited about going on stage at this festival. And because I was the headliner of the night. So it was so bad. And I was so excited. I was like, just loving life until I got that phone call. And and I'm standing in the bush at this landmark. And for some reason, all of a sudden, my guitar player shows up and he comes down this path where I am, which was kind of weird. And then even weirder is that my drummer showed up and he came down that path as well. So we all kind of like this was all happening just at once. And a couple phone calls, trying to text people, but text messages weren't going through. And my drummer called his dad, and his dad flew in from PA, which is about an hour and a half away. I was standing on the stage, plugging my guitar in, and the bass player still wasn't there. That's how close it was. So he had to make some notes, and he had gotten there. He was making some notes in the car of the songs that he had to play. But that's how close it was. As a headliner of the show of that night, I was waiting for my bass player to show up on stage. So it
So,
was,
so what happens if he doesn't show up?
I don't know, like with no bass player, you almost can't do the show.
Hmm.
So then, but I would have maybe done a solo show.
Okay, I see.
But as a headliner of the show, when people are
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of there to party, right? You can't close off the show as a solo act, which I still would have. But nobody wanted that, and I didn't want that either. So,
Hmm.
but it just like it was so down to the wire. And that's the scary thing about music and the stressful thing. So that stuff happens. That
Yeah.
stuff happens, and it happens like if you're friends with the musician or you're trying to plan your day around a musician, whether it's at a festival or anything like that, if you're on a timeline, if you care about your timeline, you're going to fight with somebody because timelines almost don't exist because everything's always running behind time.
Hmm.
Like a wedding, if you're playing at a wedding, nothing runs on time. And all you can do is just kind of sit there and just wait. And, you can't get mad because it happens almost all the time. So,
Right.
so you just sit there and wait and put a smile on your face and hope for the best. And that's it. And that's just it. Like I kind of set the whole day aside. So if I feel like we're supposed to start at 8, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it started at 9.
Right, right, right.
So, and then, yeah, you just make it work. You just pivot. I said, you got to be able to pivot and
Adjust.
not get mad at stuff. So, but yeah,
Do you,
it's a crazy business.
do you ever because you said you got a vocal surgery?
Yes.
So
I ended up with 2 vocal surgeries. So
yeah.
one was in 2019 and one was like a year and a half later, I think. But it was not very fun.
No.
So because I had just started singing, them telling me that I needed a vocal surgery in 2019 after I just started singing was like really bad mentally.
Hmm.
So I'm like, because I was like, no, I just
Yeah,
started.
yeah.
Like a tear rolled down my cheek when they took me in a separate room. I was like, I just started singing. Like, I always kind of said like when I was younger, I used to play hockey, and I feel like I was pretty good, and but I was too scared to leave Big River, so I never pursued it, and I didn't really have anybody pushing me to pursue it,
Hmm.
so I didn't. So then it was like when they told me that I needed vocal surgery, I'm like, man, you know what? I was given a second chance to go out and try and do something, you know, cool. We're given a different talent to pursue.
Right.
So this time I'm like, oh, I'm totally doing it this time. Because I said I don't. And music gets really frustrating, but I always look at the what if. Like it was a what if with hockey. Like, what if I would have pursued it? Like, not saying that I would have made NHL or any stuff and anything like that, but it was like, but where would I have went?
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. And that was the thing that always bothered me. So it was like, now music is like, oh, there's days when you're just like, oh, I'm quitting. But
Right.
then it's like, if I quit, then I fall into that hole. I'm like, oh, that's troubled me since I was a kid, almost, not knowing where I would have went in hockey. So now, Music is like I have to do it until I know that I've done everything that I can kind of do. I just have to keep going. So
So do you like feel like if you like lost your voice or something, or you can feel like the strain, do you have to like chill out for a bit, or is there like warm
um
ups you gotta do or
well,
exercises?
you try and do warm-ups like that first vocal surgery, like it was very stressful. um like like mentally draining. The second time I felt it coming on,
Hmm,
and you can kind of tell like your voice gets a little bit more, like it takes more air because it's like your vocal cords aren't closing, so it takes you more air and energy to get those notes out, and they're raspier. I naturally have a raspy voice, so I can kind of hide it
right.
a little bit in the music, but I sang for, knowing I needed vocal surgery and I didn't want to cancel any shows. I probably sang for another 6 months
Dang.
like that. So, but now I'm more aware of doing vocal warm ups.
Right.
Try to be better. I'm not great, but I try to be better. Um, but yeah, those vocal surgeries are in this. It's some places in the States, they actually offer like mental health um, meetings or whatever, like psychology meetings. Is that what
Yeah,
they
yeah,
call them?
yeah.
They
Which make it does
they
make
they offer
sense.
that because it's literally, it's not that it's you do vocal surgery, so you're not allowed to talk, but you're not allowed to whisper, you're not allowed to make a noise, and they want you to be do that for like 4 to 6 weeks. So not a noise is supposed to come out of your mouth. Now, like imagine, you know, you living with your wife and your son and not being able to make any noise whatsoever. And I feel like I jumped the gun on the first one a little bit
Right.
and talked too soon. So I didn't know if that was a contributor to what I was doing because I was at a job where I was on the phone all the time. And
Hmm.
I tried not talking on the phone all the time. But then I just see my other coworkers working harder. So I was just like, whatever. And I just started talking. So whether that was a contributor or not, the second time I was really trying to follow the rules. So I don't think I talked for probably 4 to 5 weeks.
That's wild.
So it's like,
That's wild. Because I
it's
love talking.
100%. But like, try to do your job, like, try to do your everyday life and not being able to make a noise. And the hard thing that I noticed is that you can't, I found it easier not to be around anybody
Right.
because people still say, like, I could hold up a note, which I have, which I did, hold up a note that said, I cannot talk. I just had vocal surgery. And then somebody says, oh, what happened?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm like,
Yeah.
literally,
One
I,
second.
yeah.
Let me write this.
But that's the thing. So when you're in a group of people, I think it was, it might have been around, I think I did, once my stuff slowed down, I did vocal surgery at about during Christmas. So Christmas time was like vocal surgery. That was my present to myself.
Hmm.
And so like my mom's trying to invite me for like family suppers and stuff. And I just said no. Like I'd rather just sit on my couch because you can't be part of the conversation. And I did text to talk, but you can't be part of a like a conversation, even doing that, because if somebody's telling a joke or making fun of you, or you're just trying to have some info and you're just trying to do it really quick, by the time you type it in and
Just delayed.
it's your that
That's
conversation's already
wild.
passed. So it was way easier, it was thumbs up, thumbs down. Like, do you want to eat? Like, and then like going to the store, like you still have to live life. And then going to the store, you got to like type it out ahead of time. Just be like,
Right.
yeah, like
Did you
it's
just have a bunch of saved notes for these different places you went?
some of them. The app that I used kind of saved some.
Yeah.
So, but I just
That's
like for the
crazy.
most part, I just avoided people. Like I'd just stay at home and not do anything. And that's where it gets kind of, you can't sing, you
Mm.
can't really play guitar, because when you're playing guitar, you want to sing. And yeah, being around people want to talk to you. So it's just like, and I was trying to follow the rules on this one because I didn't want it to happen again
Again,
if
yeah.
I thought that I caused some of it last time.
How long ago was that?
2022,
Okay.
I think Christmas of 2022, maybe.
So still pretty recent, I guess.
Yeah, so 2019, probably 2022. And they tell you, like, the first one, they put you under. It was my first like big surgery. Like, they anesthesiaed me and whatever, like took me into this operating room. So it was freaky for me because I've never done that before. And they say, like, they do the surgery, but they don't know what you'll sound like afterwards. Like if scar tissue, does something
Oh
to your
man,
vocal cords. So like you go into it scared. This isn't
that's
like,
wild. Yeah.
yeah. And then even the second time, it was even scarier because this doctor and the anesthesiologist, he comes up and he puts his, um, what do you call those things where you have to sign away in case something happens? Um, anyways, so he put a sheet in front of me and basically said, "Hey, you have to sign this." And I'm reading it, and this is how I remember it. It says, "We are going to be using oxygen, like an oxygen laser, um, on your throat." Um, there has been times when the oxygen has caught on fire and burst into flames. So like I'm like, so there literally could be like a big ball of fire in my throat that could wipe out my whole throat. And he's like, he didn't pull any punches, man. He was like, yeah, I mean it's there because it's happened. And I'm like, oh, holy smokes. And I had to sign it to get the surgery. So it was just like, and I know somebody who had a botched vocal surgery. So that's a scary thing. So that happens. But they said they noticed something from the previous surgery that they kind of fixed, with thought that might be kind of the fix all on the second surgery. So, and I haven't had an issue since, but every time you get a tickle, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, am I okay? Especially when you're singing lots. So like you seen the schedule this week,
This.
it's like,
Yeah.
holy smokes. It's hours a day of just singing. And I sing lots, but
Yeah. Do you? So have you kind of built like a strategy for like a week like this or a month like this where it's like I need to be sleeping this many hours, I need to be up this much before the show? Like, do you have like kind of a
you do, like, yes, because if you have a couple of my shows next week start early compared to most shows that start at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. They start in the afternoon. So you do have to get up early. I usually try and have like a hot shower. So there's a little bit of a strategy. Usually try and have a hot shower. The steam will kind of, open up your vocal cords, whatever. But you try and wake up and you have your morning voice. So you try and, wake up and get that like groggy voice out of the
right?
way and, you know, get some, get that out of the way, especially the ones during the day. So it's, yeah, there's a little bit of strategy, but I try and, you can get run down by just being on the road, eating crappy food, gas station sandwiches, and chips and all that kind of fun stuff. So you try and get sleep when you can. I started taking multivitamins, just, and vitamin C and stuff like that. Like literally anything that can help
Right.
or help prevent any sickness, you definitely try and do.
And what
So
kind of show do you prefer? Because I seen on there you kind of had like a couple of festivals. You have kind of a bigger show at Country Thunder, and then you have some private ones.
yeah,
Like the private ones, you probably get to kind of like freestyle a little bit more, hey, and like,
Yeah, yeah. The festivals and stuff are a little bit more structured, but they're shorter.
oh, I see.
So you kind of just you have like on Thursday it was an hour. So you have like you can just take all of like all of your fun kind of party songs,
Right.
put it in that hour. Um so those are pretty good. I like the nighttime. I like the nighttime party ones, but the size of the crowd doesn't necessarily matter.
Okay.
So you could do whether it was a band or solo. I used to do a duo and stuff like that. So it wasn't really whether I was doing solo, duo, or band. It was just how the crowd was kind of feeling. Because I'd done some pretty cool shows as a solo musician, and I've done some pretty cool ones as a duo, and then obviously as a band. So it's just some the people can be vibing, and you can have lots of fun, and I mean, you could do a whole big band show and put all the work into it, and then the crowd's just sitting around visiting. So the type of function, like I've done some corporate stuff. That's people are there more. Nobody wants to party in front of their coworkers or their bosses and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
everybody's pretty chill then. But yeah, it varies so much. It varies so much. So
One
yeah.
thing, one thing I noticed about you when I watched you perform is how, like, for somebody had that much stage fright, for how natural you are on stage, because you make it look very easy. And I have seen a lot of performances in like from like kind of like the middle all the way to where like they really have to focus on what they're doing
Mhm.
to like watching you, it looks effortless and it's very good.
It's well, thank you.
Yeah.
The scary thing was I don't know, like I don't know why there's you know this scared part of me that was when I was a kid. And like this was, like I said, it was never something I planned. It wasn't even anything I thought I actually could do. But it was always like there's always a goal to be better. Do I think I'm good on stage? I try to be, but then I watch some other people and I'm like,
Mm.
ooh, they're pretty good on stage. So I'll sit. I'm not necessarily a fun guy to go to a concert with or like live music because I'm just like,
Just analyzing it.
oh yeah, yeah. You know what? I could steal that move or steal those sayings or whatever. So then I you just end up sitting there and I'm really enjoying myself,
Right.
but I'm also just analyzing and seeing what I can steal and
Yeah.
how I can be better.
It's cool
So
because like you're watching it, but you're also like you've been up there, so you're like kind of seeing it from a different perspective, like a different lens too.
when I first moved to the city, like I used to go watch live music because I loved live music. I didn't do live music. So there's bands now um, that I've played with that were kind of like my idols when I first moved to the city. Like,
Mm.
and people that I've played with in Saskatoon and some of the opportunities I've had because I got into music. So it's like I remember when I first moved here and I was the guy standing on the dance floor in the crowd, just being like, oh man, that's awesome. And now it's like I want to be the guy standing on the stage and having those people be like, man, that's awesome. So I try to strive to be better and give people an experience.
Mm.
So I'm not just standing up there just like do do do.
Right.
So
I think you do that. Uh, you know, I've only seen you a couple times, but both
you
times,
came to Buds, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought it was awesome. I thought it was like really like a really great performance, you
You,
know.
you
And
know,
that's like even just talking to Fallon on the side, I was just like, he looks like he's not even trying.
Well, and you know what? Buds is kind of a Buds. I always describe it as going and playing at Buds. Like you can go out and you know what? All the shows kind of vary. And you know what? Sometimes they feel like a job, just like anything else. And then sometimes they're fun and blah, blah, blah. But I said, when I play Buds, it's always a vibe. Like I say, Buds will fill up my happiness cup.
Mm,
You know, you go there and the crowd's awesome and everybody's cheering and chanting and stuff like that. You know, so you can go there. They make it easy to have a good time on stage.
right.
You know, that's where, you know, the crowd is the one that defines whether I'm going to have a good time or not, kind of. And Buds just always has a cool crowd every time I play there. So it's always like, yeah, we're playing at Buds again. Like,
Yeah.
because you, for the most part, know you're going to have a good time. So, but yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, you try and be good on stage. I try and strive to be better, whether it's you know a little bit more talkative or whatever. I mean, you just play the part, dress the part, and try and give people like a little moment. You know, like we were even handing out your stickers. Gives you an excuse to just go up and say hi to people. You know,
Right.
and just even that is like a game changer and you know an icebreaker, getting people to put their stickers on their water bottles and stuff like that. Even that is a big deal.
Hmm.
Creates a moment,
Yeah.
then people are like, oh, you know. So it's fun. I like getting out and meeting people and doing all that kind of stuff. I like kind of doing the PR. It's still scary, but again, you force yourself to be better and go out there and do it because you got to win everybody over.
That's interesting. It's fun though. It sounds fun.
It can be 100%, like I said, but there's days that it feels like a job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then there's moments where you got to like step away and take a breather. And then it's like, okay, I can go hide in a dark room for a second, regroup, and then go back out there. And
Would you describe yourself as like a introvert or extrovert?
oh, I would say I'm an introvert for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
It's like if even using Buds as an example, like if I'm what I call working, like if I'm playing that night and I'm working, I can go. My working personality is a lot more brave than my non-working personality. Like if I wasn't working, I'd be the guy like scared to go into Buds.
Right.
And I'd be the guy probably sitting in the back of the room just like drinking a pop or whatever. But then when I'm playing, I'm like, hey, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Are you guys here for the show? Oh yeah,
Mm,
yeah. Oh, you don't know who's playing? Well, here it's me. So, and that's the difference.
right.
So, I couldn't be like if I wasn't playing, I couldn't be like that. It's way too scary. Way too scary. So I wouldn't do it. But
Yeah.
again, when I'm so called working, I can just do it no problem.
It's like it's very interesting hearing that because I would never have guessed that
Yeah.
from meeting you.
Oh, it's yeah. And you know what? And it's if somebody approaches me and talks to me, I'm okay. But if I have to approach somebody, if I'm like, I think I know who that is over there, I should go say hi. But then I'm like, ah, maybe maybe I'll just wait a second. Like it's so different. But that same person could come up to me and be like, oh hey man, like yeah, it's a mind game for myself. Like it's very hard to understand, and it's yeah, work me is different than non-work me for sure. Like outside, if you see me outside of music, for the most part, you're gonna have to come to my house
Mm.
because I won't necessarily leave my house. I feel
So
like that's pretty true.
when did see when did you start writing music? How old are you when you wrote the first song you ever
Oh,
wrote?
Um, well, I'm 48 now. 42, if I'm being generous.
Wow.
44, 44, 43, somewhere in there. I'd have to look and see what the song release was. But I like,
That's
again, I had no intentions of doing any of this. So we were just like a cover band going out and doing cover band stuff.
right.
And I had no intentions of doing anything. And then once we kind of started getting into it more, then people started questioning, do you have originals? Do you have originals? Do you have originals? So we pretty much are forced to write some originals. So
Is that like a tough process for you, or
you
not
know,
that?
it's there's kind of a trick behind it. Like I think there's some people out there that are naturally gifted songwriters. But even with my research and you talk to people and stuff like that, like you can sit down and write a song, but it's making it flow and making it sound, fine and stuff like that. So it's for me, I think it's kind of hard. I can start a song, then I have a heck of a time finishing it. So I
Mhm.
feel like I like co-writing because then
Okay,
you can
okay,
like pull off each other's brains a little bit.
right.
So I like co-writing stuff, but yeah, you gotta. It's tricky. I feel like, and because back in the day, you could write an 8-minute song, 5-minute song, a 6-minute song, and they play it on the radio. Not a big deal. Now you got to do it in like three
Yeah.
minutes. So
No attention
you
spans
need
anymore.
3 minutes to tell a whole story. That's the trick. So
That's actually interesting too.
yeah, that's the game. Like radio, for the most part, I think they want your songs to be 3 minutes ish. Is what I learned. So then again, you gotta find out how to create a song and write and tell a story in 3 minutes.
Mm.
Like plus you have the instruments and stuff in there. So every second is a valuable second. It seems like
Right.
so.
It's kind of just like
Well, it's like yeah, it's these to begin and end the story in 3 minutes
yeah, yeah.
with instruments taking up time in there. It's crazy.
Well, like if you had to describe like what your music style is, how would you
Hmm.
do that?
Uh, uh, so there's a couple ways that I kind of feel like I kind of explain this. So when it comes to radio, I say country rock. Um, when it comes to my live shows, I kind of call it feel good music. Because again, I kind of want people just to, escape from reality. Maybe, if you're having kind of a crappy day, you're going to hang out with us for an hour or two, then hopefully it's an hour or two of fun. And then you don't think about the other stuff, you know? But for radio stuff, it's country rock, but it's even then, like I just released kind of my first slow love song. So like over the last couple years, so most of them are just like I try and keep them upbeat. I did notice they're about drinking, lots of them though.
Mm.
I don't really drink, so I don't know why they keep coming out as drinking
Right.
songs, but
Yeah.
they're upbeat. They're for the
Yeah.
most part they're upbeat in one way or another. So I think that's a trick.
Do you find like when you perform like like specifically in Saskatchewan, it's like a different vibe than anywhere else?
There's different parts of places that I've played where it's definitely a different vibe. Like, but I think it's a matter of like me playing in Regina versus Saskatoon is no different.
Right.
But me playing in Saskatoon versus a lake resort, kind of different.
Mm.
Because the lake resort people are like, they're on vacation. all they want to do is have a good time, right? In the city, you get the people that want to have a good time, but there's also people that are just killing time.
I
You know what
see.
I mean? Like, I played a couple shows in the shoe shop, and if you've never been to the shoe shop, those guys are like on a whole other level of we're on vacation. Like,
Right. Were you on a houseboat?
yeah,
Were you?
yeah.
Wow, man.
I did a solo show on a houseboat, which was insane. Like, you should see the videos of that. And then we sang on the C store in the shoe shop, which was full band, full production. Like, you just get surrounded by hundreds of boats. The visual is insane. The vibe is insane because everybody's just there to have a good time, right? So everybody's just running around. It's like, yeah, man, this is so awesome. So
And
it's
you have these, like, you're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram,
yeah, all of them.
all of them.
Bebo,
Bebo.
MySpace, you know, just the old ones.
MySpace, MSN.
MSN, yeah,
That.
all the old ones. I haven't left.
What's your MSN? That's
ICQ, I think that was the other one.
that's
But yeah, I know all the main ones: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I think that's pretty much it. X, but I don't really use it all that much. Yeah, all the stuff. I try and I got my own website and stuff like that, so we try and keep that updated. And like it's all stuff you pretty much have to do. That whole social media side of it is a whole other animal. Like
yeah.
it's there's good and bad to it.
I guess for
So
when I think of social media, I always just think of criticism. How do you handle that side?
oh my dude. Well, what's insane though? The um I have some videos, I have many videos that are in millions and like millions of views. I know some videos are over 16 million views and, tens of thousands of comments. And I don't really get that much criticism,
Hmm.
if I'm being completely honest. Like, when it's specifically about my voice or anything like that. Like, I don't do that bad, so it doesn't stress me out too much. And then if somebody says something, you can kind of tell it's pretty trolly.
Right, right, right.
So I just try and kill them with kindness. Like, I don't really delete their messages. I'm like, hey, that's too bad. You don't think my voice is any cool, but you can't like them all. Blah, blah, blah. There was one guy, he just bashed me and bashed me. And he's in the States somewhere. So he was just obviously being a troll. And I just kept replying and just killing him with kindness. And then finally he just started turning around and be like, oh man, that last video you did was really good. So he was like, he just gave up. He was tired of being mean to me. So
Yeah.
he gave up. But so like social media is its own animal. So everybody's there to be a keyboard warrior and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
Whether they're, somebody's talking music, personal life, if you put yourself out there, somebody's going to say something. So just
Yeah.
try and take the high road. Try not to get into it too much, and just keep doing music. So
What about in like in your personal life? You probably had doubters. You probably had people who have told you to not continue. Did you ever? Are you pretty good at ignoring that, or do you like get that imposter syndrome sometimes?
you know where I've noticed is when even the people that have said something to me, I almost feel like it's more out of, I don't want to say jealousy, but like I've kind of done okay.
Right.
And even the people that have said something to me, it's more out of, which hasn't really happened very often. Um, they say it for whatever reason, but I just take it as like as a challenge for the most part.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, okay, that's your opinion.
yeah.
So you know what? Now I use that as fire to kind of keep me going and stuff like that. And there's a few people that have made comments, but they're easy to forget. So,
Yeah, yeah,
and you know what? And then you take some of that stuff, and then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you said that, sure, but you know, now I'm opening up for these people. Now I'm opening up for these
right.
people, and you know, got to do this and whatever. Like, I don't necessarily think I'll become like this big rock star or anything like that, but it's pretty cool experiencing some of the things that I've gotten to do, like the
Mm-hmm.
shoe swap stuff, and you know, opening up for people that I think is really cool and stuff like that. And you know what? I've got to travel more of Canada than I've got to travel more of Canada than lots of people get to.
Right.
I've got to travel the states more than you know probably the majority of people get to. Like, so I've sang all over the states and I've done cool stuff, you know, from being in the Rockies to walking the beaches in Florida, you know, to cruising, uh, you know, Texas and all
Mm.
that stuff and everywhere. Slept in a haunted house in Kansas. I didn't think I was going to get out alive, but like this is the craziest things, man. The craziest things.
What was your favorite place in the States to perform?
You know, they all came with different experiences, which is so I don't know if there's a favorite because they've all been kind of different. I sang in this one place in Texas, and you know the movie Roadhouse,
Mm-hmm.
like the original one at
Yeah.
least. It was like that, just no chicken wire. It was insane. Like there was smokes and broken glass on the floor. The bar was smoky. Just nobody cared. They were just talking and smoking, drinking cigarettes. Like there was old electronics in the corner stacked up like right beside like a bull on wheels, you know, you could sit on it and pull it around the bar. I don't know. Like it was insane. Like it was so insane. But it was like I always talk about the adventures of music. Like that's part of the adventure, you know. And then like when I was in Kansas and I did the haunted house thing, these guys just offered up. I call it a haunted house. I was scared. I took video. I was scared, and it wasn't really a haunted house, but if you would have had to, if you would have had to stay in it, it wasn't very fun. They were the sweetest people too. They let me stay there and stuff like that. So all the props to them, but I was
It's like
scared.
someone got murdered
They're
here
like,
for sure.
you could stay. There's a little cabin like right by the river in the bush. Like I'm like, this is like you know, like a Friday the 13th kind of scene, man. I got to get out of here. I just snuck out in the morning and they're like, oh, if you want to come back and stay again, you can. I'm like, no, see ya. I'm going back to Canada. Like it was really good. I should have told them I was scared, but but I played at this by their one of their major, I think ball diamonds or event centers or whatever in Wichita. And I bet you the whole place sat 30 if you filled it up.
Mm.
But that thing has been there for forever and it just gets packed in there because it's such an iconic place to play. And I did a solo show there and I bet you there was 6 people, 7 people there when I played, but probably one of my favorite places to play that I played along the whole trip. Like they were just 6 or 7 people, just like, this is awesome. We were just singing and stuff like that. So it was really cool. But yeah, everybody kind of, or every place kind of has its own little quirkiness to it.
It's its own vibe.
Yeah. So it's been, yeah, like going through the States, um, like I sang in Montana, North Dakota, and South Carolina, Texas, a few different places in Texas, like Kansas. Um,
Do you plan
so
on touring again?
you know what? That was that I did that in 2020 or 2021, and that was that was kind of the make or break on whether I was going to continue music, because I didn't know if I could just, as a solo artist, if I could go out and just catch people's attention. And it went so good. That's why I'm still doing it.
Mm.
What would I like to do it again? If I had to do that, if somebody said, "Do you want to do that exact same path, that exact same thing?" I'd probably say no, because it was so much driving. Like I had to do one show and then drive 9 hours to get to the next place, which might not seem all that bad, but once you factor in stops and stuff like that, then it gets to be like, a 12-hour day or something on the road to try and get to the next place and then sing for a little bit and then do that again. But yeah, man, it was, I would do something similar. I would totally go do something similar. Yeah.
Just maybe
Maybe not,
smaller or more like
more,
this
more,
section and
more
then do this
compacted
section.
into
Yeah.
one area,
Yeah.
as opposed to, I went to Colorado, Utah, actually. So I went to Utah, then to Colorado, to Texas, bounced around Texas a little bit, then all the way to South Carolina, Nashville, back to Texas,
Oh, Nashville would be wicked,
and
eh?
then cross country all the way up to like North Dakota, South Dakota. And like that's a lot of
That's a
driving.
lot of driving.
Yeah. Like I was done. The one day I was trying to get back to Texas from Nashville, and like I was fidgety in my chair. Like I was getting angry because it was just too much driving. So, but I met some cool people in Texas. I stayed with them and got a couple day break and rest and carried on. But yeah, I would totally do it. I would just do it differently.
Do you have like like a goal for the year or the next 5 years, or do you have like an event or a festival you'd love to play at?
You know what? This year, I feel like my goals every year are just to be better
Yeah.
than I was the year before. Do something, do a show or do something that was maybe not necessarily better than the year before, but always have something. I always want to kind of be going up my game a little bit. And I feel like the beginning of every year, I'm like, this isn't looking good. This isn't looking good. And I've noticed I get like that the last couple of years. And then everything just all slowly comes together. And now this year, I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
like even I did a really cool show, couple cool shows in Edmonton. And then I'm excited to play at the exhibition this year. So that's kind of neat. And
So you've never done the exhibition before?
I have,
Okay.
but not, it was a while ago, not under how they do it now. So they used to just get local bands to do the entertainment in the beer gardens. But now they have the main stage and they have maybe some local, like the local talent on in the beer gardens. And then they have the bigger artists in the beer gardens as well. So I'm kind of hoping we get to meet the bigger artists afterwards is kind of
Yeah.
my goal. So, but we're playing the exhibition. So that was fun to get into, especially like with their different format anyways. So, I don't know what else. There's a couple other cool. Hmm? Oh yeah. Country Thunder. Yeah. Whew. Country Thunder. So we do it. The songwriters sing at Country Thunder, which is good. So you get to go there and you get free passes to kind of go hang out there for the day. Um, this year I did it before and it's super cool. Except this year I booked two shows on the same day. So I booked Country Thunder in the afternoon and these other people really wanted to have a party Friday night. So I'm at Country Thunder in the afternoon, Friday, and then I got to like do my thing, pack up, get the heck out of there. And then, it's another 3 hours 2.5 hours to Craven, back to Saskatoon, and another 45 minutes
Mm.
to the next place I have to play. So, yeah, so cool gigs. There's always, something to kind of like, oh
figuring
man, we're
things
doing
out.
something cool. We're doing
Yeah,
something
yeah.
cool. So
And then you were talking before about like opening for, uh, you get to play for some people that you maybe idolized a little bit.
mhm.
Who's like the coolest? What was the coolest experience to be able to like shake someone's hand?
Oh, you know what, man? So when we first started out, this was like a handful of years ago, and when I first kind of moved to the city, this is on a more local scale, but we also used to go watch the Gong Show. Do you know who the Gong Show are? Oh, they're a great band. So anytime they played, we always made a point to kind of go watch them, and they were a great band. And then even back in the day, we used to go out and watch a band called Butterfinger, and another great band. So I was like, oh yeah, these guys are playing. So there's a couple instances like that, and now handful of months ago, like being me and Chris from the Gong Show, we sat down and started writing a song, and I've done
Cool.
shows with them now. So we kind of became friends. But Chris ended up coming to a show that we were playing at in Martinsville, and I was on stage, and I'm like, oh crap. Oh, like this guy's here. I used to watch them. They were high energy, fun band. And I'm like, oh crap. So I knew he was there. So it kind of stressed me out a little bit because I used to go watch these guys because they were a good band. And then I think I can't remember if it was that night or the next day we were loading up, and then Chris stops by again. And he's like, dude, you guys did really good last night. And I'm like, I said, I take that as a huge compliment from you. So there was a couple people like that, and we used to go watch Butterfinger. I was saying, and now one of the guys from Butterfinger, like he just played with me on the weekend, and we wrote a song together. So which is actually on iTunes. So we wrote "No Shoes Kind of Day" together. So that was really cool. So now I'm kind of coming around in a full circle from being like the guy in the crowd watching the bands to like being the guy on the stage playing with these people that always thought were really cool. And then like from a bigger standpoint, like now I've done it a couple times. Like Aaron Goodvin, he's a country guy. So I've done a couple shows with him now, which is pretty cool. So it's like, hey, you know, and Aaron phoned me from Nashville the one day, and I'm like, I didn't have him in my phone,
Yeah.
but he phoned me from Nashville, and I'm like watching TV, and I'm like looking at my phone. I'm like,
A scam
why,
caller or
why is this?
something.
Why is there a number from Nashville popping up? So I answered it, and I'm like, hello. He's like, hello. He's like, how's it going? I'm like, who is this? And he's like, dude, it's Aaron Goodvin. I'm like, oh, just calling me up. I was like, yeah.
That's awesome.
So stuff like that has kind of happened. So it's pretty neat. I did a bigger show in Ontario, and we got to stand and visit, get pictures with like Tim McGraw and stuff. So that's kind of some of the cool things with music that has happened.
What about like mentorship? I feel like when I think of like boxing, like
Mm-hmm.
there's so many people that like I've just got good little like tidbits
But
from.
what, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
You literally just talk to people, and I feel like it's the tidbits of information that add up to some really cool stuff.
Right.
Like with music, I feel like I don't get a chance to sit down and talk to people for a long period of time because you're always just passing by each other all the time. So then, but I tell the story all the time too because this is the biggest tidbit of information and it wasn't even that big. It's just it's been the most effective. But I did a show at SaskTel Center, and for something I can't remember what it was for, and we were on a stage for an hour, sang our songs, got off the stage, It's getting the story's getting a little bit fuzzy now, but I was talking to somebody, and I think they were complimenting me, and I didn't take it very well because some people don't take compliments very well. Like, oh, hey, you look good today. I'm like, no, not in this old dress, but I don't know. I said dress, but anyway, so this guy was complimenting me. I wasn't wearing a dress that day. I was in normal clothes, but I didn't take the compliment very well. And the guy comes up to me, or a different person comes up to me, and he says, "Hey, you know what? Just so you know, I was going to give you a piece of advice." And they said, when somebody comes up to give you a compliment, say thank you. Accept the compliment graciously, because you have no idea what it took for that person to come up to you and give you a compliment, which might have been completely out of their comfort zone, and, scared to come say hi or whatever the case may be. So just make sure you graciously accept the compliment and say thank you. Biggest part, then that was many, many years ago. So it was like, I was like, oh yeah. So then now I try and be better. You just even not giving compliments. It doesn't even matter what it's for. Like,
Yeah.
whatever, guys, girls, whatever. Just give compliments, because you know what? It's just a little compliment could totally make somebody's day.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, I get it now.
It's a good way
Makes
it's a good way to just when you first meet somebody to just like
Yeah,
compliment them on something.
yeah. I've even talked. I even like I'm on the phone lots, and you can tell if you are phoning somebody or whatever, answering the phone, and you answer it with a smile on your face and with a little bit of energy, you can hear, probably more noticeable when you call somebody, because they'll be like, "Hello, this is blah blah blah. How can I help you?" And then you're like, "Hey man, how's it going?"
Right.
And you can hear their voice change. It's because like they've just been crapped on all day on the phone, so it's like But you talk on the phone with a little bit of energy, man. You can hear it change people's moods.
Hmm.
So again, it's creating a moment for people. I don't know. There's enough depression and
Yeah.
BS in the world. I try and help to not make it a little better.
Be positive. Well, we're coming up to an hour. Uh, but I guess for you, is there?
Did you make this cup here?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is at Sandstar Graphics Inc.
Yeah. You guys need mugs? You guys need some coffee mugs?
If you guys need any product, come to Sandstar 409 something.
Yeah. If there's anything you want to chat about, anything coming up, anything you want to give a shout out to?
You know what? I guess the same usual. If anybody's interested, they can follow me on my socials. Everything's, I think, for the most part, Darryl Anderson Music. Come out to a show, have some fun. I mean, that's what we're kind of there for. That's what we put it. That's what we put in the work for. So
Mm-hmm. Next time he's at Buds, everyone come with me.
come to Buds, yeah,
Come with me.
yeah. Pack a van, pack a van. Let's go to Buds. Let me know. Let me know when you're coming next time. We'll make sure we put you on the list.
What does that get? What does the list get?
Just so you don't have to pay cover charge.
Just a hug, say.
Free cover charge and a hug. Yeah, I just stand there. You on the list? Yeah, you get a hug.
Cool. Okay, well, thanks for coming, man, and it was good to get to know you.
100%.
Um,
100%.
yeah.
I appreciate you having me.
Yes.
I know we've been talking about this, and I canceled on you once, but
Yeah.
it's because I'm so busy.
Took me a bit to get over that, but we're good now.
Yeah, we're good. It took me a bit. I was mad. I was so mad for a while.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate you having me on there. You know what? So, for me, every little bit helps, and stuff like that. So
Sir.
it's good, and we'll keep promoting each other, and
Yeah, we'll have you on
You look
again.
so mean in this picture, dude. Like, is that supposed to be you?
Yeah.
It's like
You don't
somebody
think I'm mean?
somebody punched you when
You just
when you
haven't
were
seen me scowl yet.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay,
But no,
let's
I
call it.
appreciate it very much.
Yes.